I used to believe the cruelest words are the ones whispered behind your back. I was wrong. The cruelest are the ones spat into your face by someone who knows you, someone who should know better. I still hear them echo 6 syllables like shards of glass. Don't touch my baby. You're disgusting. It happened on a Sunday, the kind of morning where sunlight feels heavy, sticky on your skin like it's pressing down. I pulled into the country club parking lot expecting the usual. Polite smiles, hollow laughter. The kind of conversations where everyone's words feel rehearsed. I was supposed to meet Clara's newborn niece. That was the excuse. But I knew better. With Clara, everything had strings attached. The moment I walked in, she was there. Standing stiff beside a high chair. Her arms wrapped around that child as if I were some kind of threat. Her eyes swept the room like she was surveying an army, making sure every soldier knew who was in charge. And then she saw me. Her face didn't soften. It sharpened when she hissed those words at me. People turned. Forks clinked against plates. Conversations paused. My throat locked. I wanted to say something, anything, but all I could do was stand there with my hands frozen at my sides while the baby reached out, tiny fingers curling toward me, innocent, wanting nothing more than touch. Clara yanked her closer, her glare a wall I couldn't scale. I sat at the edge of the table for the rest of brunch, quiet, invisible, watching her dominate every story, every laugh, every flick of attention. She was magnetic, yes, but not in a way that drew you in. More like a black hole. You couldn't escape her pull. And the family? They let it happen like always. Let her voice drown out mine. By the time I slid back into my car and headed toward Asheville, the words replayed like a broken record. You're disgusting. My grip on the steering wheel ached, knuckles white, breath shallow. I thought of the years I propped her up, covering her mistakes at the firm, smoothing over her reckless decisions, investing my own money to keep her afloat. None of that mattered. Not to her. The road blurred as anger twisted with something worse, guilt. Why did I let her matter so much? Why did her judgment still cut me open after all these years? The storm in my chest wouldn't quiet. And by the time I pulled into my apartment, I knew silence wasn't safe anymore. Silence was her weapon. That night, under the dim glow of my desk lamp, I opened the spreadsheets, the records I'd kept quietly, almost habitually, over the years. Clara thought she held all the cards. She never realized how dependent her firm had become on my capital. Line after line, deal after deal, I saw it. Her empire wasn't balanced. It was leaning on me. And if I pulled my support even slightly, the whole structure would wobble. The power of that realization scared me. My fingers hovered over the trackpad, heart thudding. This wasn't revenge, it couldn't be. It was leverage. Balance. For once, the scales could tilt in my favor. I leaned back, conflicted. Was I really about to weaponize money? But then I thought of her laugh, her dismissive smirk, the way she erased me from my own contributions that I didn't sleep. I played out scenarios in my head like a chess game. Every move predictable, every response measured. And by morning, my decision was no longer a question. The calls began. Advisors. Attorneys. Each conversation careful, disguised as routine. My voice steady, my words rehearsed. Inside though, my pulse hammered. This had to be flawless. No mistakes. Every document airtight, every timeline precise. Patience was as sharp a weapon as any number in a ledger. Delays came, of course. The bank flagged a few transactions. A signature line missing here, an identity check there. Each hiccup stretched time thin, but I stayed calm. Clara lived in chaos. I thrived in stillness. And all the while I tracked her. Her public filings, her client meetings, her smug dismissal of risk. I watched her brush off concerns about over-leveraging, laughing in rooms full of people too afraid to question her. She had no idea a storm was already forming, quiet and deliberate, just beyond her vision. The morning came when my finger hovered over the final confirmation. The transfer. My money pulled clean from her firm. I hesitated, guilt curling at the edges. But then I pressed enter. The numbers shifted. In real time, her foundation cracked. The thrill hit first, raw, electric. Then the guilt. I pictured her face, still confident, still oblivious. But not for long. News spreads fast in our world. Within hours, whispers became alarms. Internal emails leaked. Payroll delays. Clients questioning stability. Employees glancing at each other with unease. I could feel the panic vibrating from Charlotte even as I sat in my quiet Asheville apartment. Her charm wasn't enough this time. The mask was slipping. The next day she asked to meet. A cafe. Neutral ground. She walked in smaller than I'd ever seen her, confidence frayed at the edges. When she sat across from me, her hands trembled around the coffee cup. "You have no idea what you've done," she said, her voice cracking under the weight of control she couldn't hold on to. "People are leaving. My employees are terrified. You destabilized everything." I met her eyes steady. "I know exactly what I did, Clara. And I did it carefully. Within my rights. You assumed my silence meant I agreed with how you treated me. It didn't." Her breath hitched, anger mixing with something else. Fear, maybe recognition. "This isn't justice. It's revenge." "No," I said, firmer than I felt. "It's accountability. It's balance. Actions have consequences, Clara. And for years you acted like you were untouchable." For the first time she had no quick retort. No laugh to smooth over her arrogance. Just silence. Heavy, bitter silence that we left that cafe without resolution. But I didn't need one. My point had been made. Not through shouting, not through cruelty, but through deliberate action. The kind she never saw coming. That night, back in my apartment, I sat by the window as Asheville darkened around me. The city lights blurred, and in their glow I realized something. This wasn't about making her fall. It was about finally standing. For myself. For my boundaries. For the space I deserved. Power isn't domination. It isn't humiliation. It's knowing where your line is drawn and refusing to let anyone cross it, no matter who they are. And maybe that's the part she'll never understand. But I do. I finally do. What would you have done if you were me? Would you have stayed silent? Or pulled the lever?